Hey guys, Thogden here, and welcome back to a brand new Premier League predictions. It's game week 26 now. Things are heating up from the top of the table down to the relegation fight, and we have to get on a very special guest. It's Sebi Boy, the co-founder of #United and all his adventures in golf and football. How are we doing, mate?
Very, very good, mate. I mean, I'm excited. Exciting time of the season. You know how much I love my FPL. I've had an absolute shocker recently. West Ham are not doing well, so I'm struggling to find something. But a nice double game week this week, so lots to be excited about.
Well, listen, mate, before we crack on, set us the like target today.
This is not a high target. We were going to smash this in the first half an hour easily, in the first 10 minutes. But I like the number 316. Does anyone out there know? Why would I possibly like the number 316?
First game, we're going down south, Bournemouth versus Liverpool. It's a bottom six club relegation fight. 3-point gap between 15th and Bournemouth. And they must be gutted after their last match. It was a 97th minute goal conceding at Arsenal away.
I mean, it's just got to hurt so bad. Can they somehow come back from that against the Liverpool team that are now literally flying in confidence after that, like, historic, let's be honest, historic win against their arch rivals?
The reverse fixture was 9-0. Their last game win was 7-0. I mean, Liverpool fans will be on cloud nine. I can't see anything but a Liverpool masterclass here. I'm keeping all my Liverpool boys. Let's receive your score. What are you going for?
Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 2. I think Bournemouth are going to score. Liverpool haven't kept many clean sheets. They've kept a couple now in recent matches. I don't think that's going to continue. I think Bournemouth score, but I think Liverpool score twice.
Well, I've gone Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 3. And I can see Gakpo, Salah and Darwin being the front three. And they just link up beautifully. And they just get the job done.
Thogden got 12 points, Thogdad got 12 points, and Mark Goldbridge, the legend himself, got 7 points, which is not surprising because he thought Man United would beat Liverpool. I reckon this is Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 3.
Into the Northwest for one of the biggest games this week. I actually think this might be the most important, and it's Everton against Brentford. Now, you're probably thinking, what's important about this? I mean, the Bees might be going for Europe, but they might not reach it. No, it's about Everton. And if you look at their form, okay, they've done better under Sean Dyche. They've got 7 points in 6 games, which is more points than their 12 games prior. They've played a game more than most sides. And after this fixture, Brentford at home, do you know who they play? Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United. They are finished.
Yeah, it's a rough one, isn't it? It's a real rough one. I'm a big admirer of Sean Dyche's work, very effective manager. Brentford, though, a good side. You know, they're looking at the right end of both the XG and XGC tables. They're not conceding huge amounts of goals. They're creating good chances. I see a tight game here. I'm actually seeing a draw in this one, Theo.
You've just admitted that Everton are getting relegated, pretty much.
I just don't see them scoring lots of goals, and I see them conceding.
So what's your score? 1-1?
1-1. That's it.
I've gone a big Everton 1, Brentford 0, and it's going to be Tarkowski with another home bullet header.
Wow.
To send them 3 points, which escapes them out of the relegation zone for now.
Everton looking better under Sean Dyche, got a good draw against Nottingham Forest last weekend, but up against a Brentford team who are unbeaten in 12 games, but they're also the draw specialists of the league with 11 draws, so I reckon Everton 1, Brentford 1.
Time to head to Elland Road, Leeds against Brighton. Another really important match. Leeds just can't seem to pick up points. Javi Garcia has just not had that new manager bounce, has he, Seb?
No, it's not happened, mate. And they're not scoring goals either. They've got so many attacking players. In fact, you look at their squad, when everyone's fit, you don't know who's going to start where. I don't think the new manager's quite figured that out yet. Brighton are the complete opposite. I do believe that since maybe the last 6 games, or possibly almost as far back as since the restart after the World Cup, they've got one of the highest XGs in the whole Premier League. They are averaging over 2 a game right now. Free-flowing, attacking, confident football. They just destroyed my team, West Ham, 4-0. I see more goals coming. I've got 2-0 Brighton here, Theo.
The thing is, at some point, Leeds are going to get a massive home win. And forget XG, it's going to be about passion, grit and determination, just getting the job done, smash and grab. Brighton have only lost 2 of their last 18 meetings with Leeds, but they've got solid away form this season. That might get them over the line for European football. That would put them in the history book. So Leeds 1, Brighton 2, and Mitoma is going to contribute.
Unlucky counts for nothing because they are above the relegation zone on goal difference and they're playing a Brighton team who are smashing it. 4-0 winners against West Ham last week. Mitoma, 6 goals in 10 games. Even Welbeck is scoring. I reckon it's Leeds 1, Brighton 2.
Chelsea fans sing about them and now they're playing against them over Land and Sea and Leicester. Leicester versus Chelsea. The Foxes have never been on worse form. 4 losses in a row. They were even asking for their manager to be sacked at the end of their last game.
Managers seem to be getting a slightly longer tether than they have. I know David Moyes certainly is. Brendan Rodgers seems to be as well, because they are just a shadow of their former selves. But for me, Leicester have got quality. They've got good players. It's just not working for them right now. Yes, Chelsea just got that great result in the Champions League, but I think it's far from happy days and roses and meadows over there still at the moment. I see this being a tight affair. Leicester being the home side means I think they can probably squeeze out a draw. I'm going for 1-1. Leicester 1, Chelsea 1. Chelsea just not scoring loads of goals, to be honest, and away from home, just not creating enough chances, not keeping many clean sheets.
Chelsea's recent result against Dortmund, I was at that match. Excellent determination. Wanted to go for a second goal. Something they haven't done for a while. I think they're starting to head on the right trajectory. I'm going Leicester 0, Chelsea 1, and João Felix is going to be the goal scorer. I sense it.
They are starting to gel and players are coming back from injury. I reckon this is going to be Leicester 1. I don't know why I say that. I'm going to say Leicester 1, Chelsea 2.
I'm excited to talk about this one, Seb. I want to hear your thoughts. It's Tottenham against Nottingham Forest. We're going over to the new Spurs stadium, and maybe for the final time for manager Antonio Conte, who dealt with a goalless draw for the first time for Tottenham's 147 games. They hadn't had a goalless draw for that long, which is just a mad stat. If we got off the last 3 games, they got knocked out the FA Cup in the Sheffield United. They bottled a Premier League match for top 4 race against Wolves, and now they're out the Champions League. How does it get any worse than this? Is this just the history of the Tottenham set?
Seems to be, doesn't it? I mean, as a West Ham fan, I normally will revel in Spurs' misery. However, we've got so much of it of our own right now, it's hard to even smirk at it, really. But Spurs just not scoring lots of goals. You know, Harry Kane is a very, very consistent goal scorer. He's obviously a great player. It's got to be time for him to get himself out of White Hart Lane now. I think it'll be tight, but I do see Spurs edging it.
I wouldn't write off Forest. I know they've got terrible away form. I think they've just scored 3 times in Premier League away action this season. It's so unlikely that they score here. So I'm going to also agree with you, but 1 goal extra, Spurs 2, Forest 0, and I think it'll be a Kane brace.
They're up against Nottingham Forest, who have not won in 4 games, who've only scored 3 away goals all season. Surely this is going to be a home win. I'm giving it to Spurs 2-0.
Over to Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace versus Man City. Patrick Vieira is having a bit of a tough time, isn't he? He's gone 9 straight Premier League games now without a victory. That's the longest ongoing streak in the Premier League. Currently, #United hold the other longest ongoing streak. Do you want to say what that is, Seb?
We now currently have 19 wins in a row. That's wins in a row in our league, which has put us 7 points clear as we record this. So we've got a great chance of promotion. We've got a chance for double promotion this year because our women's team are also top of their league. So double promotion for the Tags. He's got potential. See if we can make it 20 wins in a row. Tomorrow, as we film this, which is Saturday, we are away to the mighty Haybridge Swifts. So we'll be going for 20.
If you make it 20, is that like a European record?
A couple of different ways of looking at it. There's the longest ever winning streak, and there's the longest ever winning streak in a single competition. There's a couple of other stats. I think the record's held by a Brazilian team, which is 24, I think it is.
So what's your tip to Patrick Vieira facing Man City, and he's about to go 10 games without a victory?
Yeah, he's got to try something different, Pat, I'm afraid. You've got to mix it up, mate. Something's not happening there. I mean, he started so well his career at Crystal Palace, and I think there's a good team in there somewhere, but it's not happening right now, and they face Manchester City, who are also not exactly in their free-flowing best, but can score goals against anyone, and I think they're going to score goals here, even away from home. I think it's going to be 3-1 to City, this one, Theo.
So if City could just go and batter Palace, I don't say batter, but a comfortable win, 2-0, like 3-1, I think it will be perfect for City if they want to keep that title dream alive. And Phil Foden, actually, I'm going to say he's going to get a goal. And it'll be the first time he gets 10 league goals in a Premier League season. He's never done that before.
This is a game where they cannot slip up. They're 5 points behind Arsenal. They need to keep winning, and surely they're going to win this one. I'm giving it to City 2-0.
Fulham versus Arsenal. West London. Huge game. The Gunners will know, if City have won, like we predicted, that there's only a 2-point gap. Fulham are going to be fired up. They just lost to Brentford 3-2 away, but they actually put in a good shift. And at home, they've got a really good record in the Premier League, but they've never beaten a team from a club that's above them in the league. And there aren't many teams because Fulham are doing quite well.
I'm backing the Arsenal boys, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion here whatsoever. What you mentioned about Arsenal having those travels in midweek, it's a London derby away from home. The Fulham boys will be up for that, absolutely. I see them scoring. I don't see Arsenal going mad for the reasons you've said. I think they're going to have a little bit of travel in the legs, even though they did make a few rotations. But I think they will concede. I've got 2-1 Arsenal.
Can I say, I've got 2-1 Arsenal as well. But I do want to mention, being at the game last night, the Arsenal players didn't really look like they cared, but it didn't look like they were pushing like they did against Bournemouth to go for that third goal. When they take it to the Emirates in their comfortable surroundings, what they know, they will get the job done in Europe.
Playing an Arsenal team who have won 4 in a row, and I think you've got to give it to Arsenal here. It's going to be a close one. Fulham 1, Arsenal 2.
Let's talk about Manchester United and their home game against Southampton. They just played a home game and showed real resilience to come back from a 7-0 loss. All the memes, all the talk, they were literally the talk of the town. Then they play Real Betis in Europe, not an easy game, at home, and they get a 4-1 win. It was 1-1 at half-time. They showed real character, didn't they, Seb?
Yeah, they did. I mean, what was really interesting, that Ten Hag went and put out the exact same side. I think that's a really nice move from him. It was a chance of redemption and they took it. I see them winning this one 2-0, Theo. I think they're going to bounce back. I think they're a good side now. They're a different side. They are almost like the Man United of old.
I had Goldbridge on last week on predictions and he predicted Liverpool to lose 3-1 to Manchester United.
Ouch, ouch.
I think Ten Hag should play the exact same team, leave in them, support them, and I think they'll also win 2-0.
Surely it's bounce back time. But having said that, Southampton have won 2 of the last 3. So this is a potential banana skin. But I think there will be bounce back. Man United 2, Southampton 0.
We're going over to the Olympic Stadium. West Ham United against Aston Villa. Huge game because Unai Emery's turned it around. He's got 3 wins on the trot. Villa will go there with confidence. Ollie Watkins bagging for fun. What's your thoughts, Sebby? Is this going to be a walkover? Are they going to get the home win?
No, sadly, as a West Ham fan, I just don't think we are. I've got this one down as a 1-1 draw. The battle of the Claret and Blues, we just can't get a break. But you know what? A point is a point at the moment. Down at the bottom, it's so tight. It's going to go all the way to the wire. I think West Ham are very much in that conversation at the moment. You know, there's. Nice to get a result in the week, but that Brighton performance was so poor that just to not get defeated, I think is important right now. It's important to get the wins, but I see this one being a draw.
But let's look at the bigger picture. David Moyes, is he the future of this club? What would you do? When would be the time to sack him?
I'll be honest, this is not going to be a popular decision, but I would not be in a hurry to sack David Moyes. For me, the question is purely about the dressing room. If the dressing room still believe in him, I think we have to just keep faith. I believe enough in Moyes that he can turn it around as long as the players are still backing him.
And they're playing a Villa team who've won 2 on the bounce, but it's at the Olympic Stadium. I'm going to sit on the fence, a 1-1 draw.
Big mentality switch for the Hammers fans. But let's go to North East because they've had a bit of a change in mentality this year. Eddie Howe, everything was flying for them. And then now they've been winless since the start of February and come into this match against Wolves at home on the back of 3 straight competitive defeats, all by the same 2-0 scoreline. Sabby, what's gone wrong?
Goals have dried up. I think Isaac has got to get in that team now, whether that's alongside Callum Wilson or instead of him. He seems to just not be himself right now. I think they will bounce back here though. I don't see them scoring loads of goals, but I see them scoring 1. But I do think at home they're going to be solid again. Wolves have also picked up a few sneaky results in recent weeks, but they're not equally known for their free-flowing football. So I see this one being 1-0 to the Toon Army.
Yeah, low score is expected because there's not been a team in the Premier League who's scored less goals since the return of the World Cup. Newcastle have only scored 6. But Wolves are on a remarkable streak of conceding exactly 1 goal in each of their last 9 league games against Newcastle. So I agree. Newcastle 1, Wolves 0.
This could go either way. It could be 0-0, 1-1, 0-1. But I'm going to give it to the Geordies. I think it's time they bounce back 1-0 to Newcastle United.
Brighton, Palace, you know the rivalry.
Big rivalry in that one. Brighton scoring goals. Similar we say in Palace, not looking themselves at home. I see this one being 3-1 to Brighton, Theo.
Usually this game ends 1-1. It has a massive track record. Palace always seems to find a way. Brighton are just looking unbelievable at home. They should get the job done. I'm going to go 2-1.
Giving it to Brighton. Brighton 2, Crystal Palace 1.
Let's go to Southampton. At home to Brentford. They need the points because I know you predicted them to lose away at United.
I'm going for a Brentford win, an away win. Southampton 1, Brentford 2.
Because they're at home again at St Mary's, I think they will get a result. I'm going for a 2-2 draw.
Southampton 2, Brentford 2. I reckon Southampton will get a point there, and I don't often predict that.
Sebby boy, you are an absolute legend. Good luck tomorrow, 3 p.m. Go and get that European win record. I'm cheering on for the tags.
So be on the Hashtag United YouTube channel. Normally goes up a day or so after the match, and you can keep update on our socials as well. So yeah, give them a check out.
Thank you for coming on, Seb, and see you on a bit. Enjoy the weekend. Up the Bolton, up the West Ham, up the tags. Good night. Bye-bye.